Hi and welcome to SimilarWeb. This is an instructional demonstration using Fro. My name is Nick Thomas. I work in the account team in London. The purpose of today is to take you through how to use SimilarWeb Fro, which is the free version. If you haven't already, please go to SimilarWeb.com. Sign up by providing us with your email address and a password, and you should have access to what you have on screen. Now, we are going to be covering the free version, so there are limitations in terms of number of results, etc. But it's to give the DHL end users a bit of a flavor of how SimilarWeb can help complement your business. Now, in another instructional video, we spoke about prospecting. Today, we're going to be talking about account management, how you can help your existing clients out, and using the Fro version to really drive the right behavior so that when you sit in front of that client, not only do you sound a lot more competent, but you act as a trusted advisor. And this is one of the big things that DHL are trying to understand about the relationships that you currently have, and using SimilarWeb to try and drive further value to really make them long-standing partners. So in this particular case, when you log into SimilarWeb Fro, you'll be presenting with the follower screen. We're going to start the journey with the website analysis piece, being able to type in any domain of choice. So in this particular case, and for today's argument, what we're going to say is one of the clients that you guys, or as an example, one of the clients we're going to use, let's just say hypothetically, would be a company called bustedtees.com. See, it's a golfing type website with ship. So what we're going to do is we are going to start by typing in busted tees and click on the actual word, and then you'll be presented with website analysis. Now, the whole idea is to get a better understanding of who Busted Tees are. So you're conducting due diligence on your customer's website to really understand their offering. So where we'll start is obviously the website analysis piece, but we're looking for things like total visits. So to give you an understanding of the reach of the brand. So you may know an awful lot about your brand. You may know an awful lot about the client that you're working with. But I think one of the things that I found in my account management experience is you think you know everything until you obviously see things that, like SimilarWeb.com, for example, and giving you a better understanding of, I suppose, the intricacies of how the business operates. So in this particular instance, we're looking at someone like BustedTees.com. Now, one thing that may come to mind is, okay, understanding how large the websites are. So you can see that they've got 1.2 million almost visits on a 3-month basis. We're looking at 3 months of traffic from all around the world. And what's quite interesting about this is, in terms of this particular brand, their visits are up 23% from last month. So it shows whether or not they're growing their traffic over time. And that's obviously quite useful for yourselves to know. I suppose to give you a general understanding of perhaps even what 1% of an increase in the audience means to this website, especially DHL shipping, and the potential opportunity that you guys would have. So we're looking at things like total visits in general. We're looking at total visits over time, so understanding seasonality. Device share. You can see here desktop 47 to mobile web, which is 52. So there's a high dependency from a mobile perspective. Now, having a look at this, we can look at understanding how you can actually grow the DHL customer audience, really. So for someone like Busted Tees, you're coming in as a trusted advisor, you're seeing business over time, traffic, but we could take it one step further, really, to really get a better understanding of the different competitors, I suppose, as well. So I'm looking at keyword competitors here. Now, the whole purpose is to look and really understand who Busted Tees are, so that you can use different things that come from the Fro to really drive the right behavior for you as a business. Now, again, you are limited to 5 results per website metric. The paid version gives you access to all domains. In a particular instance, you'd have 100 domains. So going back to the prospecting use case, you've got 100 domains, should you use the paid version, to obviously has potential opportunities. But in this particular instance, we're looking at these domains to see whether or not, or get a better understanding of the competition and see whether or not it's worth analyzing them in a bit more detail. So we're looking at analyzing global rank again. So in this particular instance, $6 shirts, 75,400 global rank. So it might be someone who has a significant amount of traffic in the grand scheme of things. And again, the affinity score is how close they compete with bustedtees.com across organic competitor traffic. And if we were to switch to the paid competitor traffic, we could do that as well. Now, for those of you who didn't have access to the first prospecting instructional demo, organic competitors is organic traffic. So going into Google, typing in busted tees, for example, and seeing what comes up naturally without paid. And paid competitors is paid traffic, where someone like Busted Tees pays for themselves to be top of the list should a particular keyword be typed into a browser. So in this particular instance, we're looking at $6 shirts. What I then may want to do is I may want to start comparing them side by side. So just to compare how my client is competing in the market with some of the other players that are out there to see whether or not we can win and gain something. So if I click on compare and I type in $6shirts.com and I click on update, what we'll then start to see over time is how you can start to benchmark. When I say time, when the page loads, obviously, but what you can start to see is benchmarking versus your client. So Busted Tees, from a global rank perspective, and this is in the last 3 months on a global basis. Notice you're limited to the last 3 months. Again, this is the free version. With the paid version, you'd have up to 18 months to track, really be able to track traffic over time. Obviously understanding how a business is doing, whether or not they're growing in comparison from a benchmarking perspective. Now, in this particular case, we go back to Busted Tees, $6 shirts. It looks like $6 shirts drives more traffic from a total visits perspective. So knowing that, knowing that $6shirts.com are competing, perhaps in getting more traffic, it's worth knowing what $6 shirts are doing, purely from a way of maybe helping bustedtees.com go into the market, but also more importantly, this could also be another opportunity for yourselves from a prospecting perspective. But it's to see what other types of businesses are doing. You've got engagement stats as well. So really being able to see how some of the competitors compete with your clients. And you can see that $6shirts.com have trophies next to them. So they seem to be winning on all sorts of different fronts. So what can you do by looking at something like SimilarWeb to really take that back to someone like Busted Tees and really help their business moving forward as well? Now, if we look at something like, if we go into traffic sources, click on marketing mix, you can see a direct comparison between the two. So bustedtees.com, $6shirts.com. You can see direct traffic, which is traffic going directly into the browser and going to these websites, email, referrals, traffic coming from an affiliate website or a different website to these pages, social, coming directly from social traffic, organic and paid, which I've already covered, and display ads. Now, display ads are banners that appear on pages. They're obviously selling something, for example. They may appear in the actual content, and you click on them and you go to these pages. Now, what's quite interesting about this is you're looking at your client, Busted Tees, and $6 shirts as a competitor. Now, $6 shirts seems to be a lot more aggressive in the market because you can see there from a paid search perspective that they're really getting people to their web pages. So you may want to be able to click on something like paid search to see, okay, well, how are $6 shirts driving traffic to the website? What type of audience? And how can I really go back to someone like Busted Tees in a conversation and get a better understanding? Now, I've clicked on overview, keywords, and almost immediately you can see the search terms. Okay, now $6 shirts, Busted Tees, $6 Busted Tees. Now you're limited to 5, but there are 3,000 different terms. Now knowing from a paid perspective, by clicking on paid and clicking apply, knowing the focal point for $6shirts.com, you can then take this back to someone like Busted Tees and obviously advise them from a customer advisory perspective as a trusted advisor. So $6 shirts also command 93% of the paid traffic, which means that if Busted Tees wanted to compete with someone like $6 shirts, they need to be well aware of that $6 shirts, have significant budgets from a paid perspective, and they're driving a lot more traffic. But again, from an upgrade account perspective, this is the limitation of having the free version. But you're starting to get a flavor of how you can try and help bustedtees.com out, which is obviously your client there. Now, you could do this across the different channels. So being able to compare them side by side. So what is it the $6 shirts are doing that Busted Tees are not? So you can see that they are very, very close. You can see average visit duration, pages per visit, bounce rates, top level metric. Again, you're an account manager, you're managing the account. So looking at how you can really add value to Busted Tees the next time you're in a meeting. So looking at organic search, seeing if there's a significant difference, you can see the dollar shirt seems to always come out on top. Now, so trying to wrap this up, we're moving to the geography side of the free version. Now, what we're looking at is a cross-section of the different countries. We're looking at the top 5 again, but more importantly is understanding where the strengths are for these different types of businesses. So being able to go into a meeting with Busted Tees and really be able to say to your competitors who have a lot more traffic that they are very, very strong in the 2 core markets. Where Busted Tees seem to be doing better is in France, for example, from a visits, they seem to have more of a global reach. So one thing that you could be looking at here from an account management perspective, this mainly alludes to prospecting, is to say, okay, well, if you're doing really good work with someone like bustedtees.com, you have an opportunity to go to $6shirts.com and try and grow their markets by showing them that you've done X, Y, and Z with someone like bustedtees.com. You can see in France, out of all the traffic from a geography perspective that's going to these 2 different domains, it's 3%. France equates to 73% for bustedtees.com, where it's only 26 for $6 shirts. So it's a fantastic opportunity to say to someone like $6 shirts that you've been working with bustedtees.com to really get them into international markets. And this is the same way you can look at using this to really analyze your own clients and seeing whether the opportunity lies. So if you see one of the biggest competitors is competing in a market that your client is not competing in, then you obviously DHL, you've got the shipping resources to be able to help them in that respect. So this wraps up the brief version for the account management piece and being able to act as a trusted advisor. There is a significant amount more data that you can actually get. So I think this is very top level, gives you a good understanding of how you can use Fro. And yeah, I hope it's been